Craziest thing that ever happened to me is I was in an explosion in Lebanon when I was living there, and then all the lights turned off and I was in H&M trying to return a dress.
Craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
How deep do we want to get?
I'm not a very crazy person.
Getting stoned in the Sphere in Las Vegas. Yeah. I think that's all that needs to be said. Now, how did that come about? I was at a Grateful Dead concert in Las Vegas, and everyone there was just essentially on another planet. But I was just pretty merry in the experience. But I got in the limousine on the way back from that experience and just thought, how the did I get here?
I was trying to learn to skydive, and I had a bad experience jumping out of the plane, so you jump out on your own, and I didn't have a very good jump. Started spinning, grabbed onto the instructor, which is a complete no-no. It's probably about the nearest I've been to death, I think.
I have climbed a volcano in Iceland. I have done stand-up comedy where I had no idea what I was doing. I have left everyone I know and everyone that I've grew up with to live in a country where I know no one. It was the fear of the unknown that kept me going, the uncertainty. I thrive on those things. It wasn't easy, but sometimes you just gotta let go in order to keep moving forward. Otherwise, you're just gonna be stuck. You just gotta believe in yourself that I can do this, because if you don't, then you'll go a very dark path.
Do you know what? Probably Alice.
I would probably say meeting my partner.
We were friends in school. Yeah, we'd always have a little flirt every now and again, but it was never going to go anywhere. Or at least I didn't think it would. And then all of a sudden I get this random message out of the blue from an old friend that I haven't spoken to in a while, and lo and behold, we've been together 2.5 years. We live together, and I think going into a relationship with someone that you went to school with, that you weren't in a relationship with in school, it's probably pretty wild. Great, bloody great. I would highly recommend.
He showed me a new world. I had, my first ever holiday abroad, and now we tend to travel to lovely holidays, and it sort of just opened my eyes really of what's out there, and there's a lot to see and make memories. So yeah, I would probably say that.
Okay, everyone, please hear me out, yeah? Okay. It was a tough time during lockdown. It wasn't my idea, first off. But during lockdown, so my final year of university, I was in a house living with, 4 other people? And, a couple of them were like, let's throw a party. So I was like, I didn't invite anyone, it was all their friends. I just lived there. But I was like, you know what? Let's do it. The police came. They broke down my door. Someone brought certain paraphernalia into the house, and it was in my room, and they found it in my room, and they were like, whose is this? Yeah, at that point, everyone scattered. Everyone just ran out of the house. I lived there, so I need to go back, right? I snuck in the back, started creeping up near the staircase to try to get into my room. I hear police walking around. They're like, who lives in this room? And they're pointing in my room. And I was like, I'm getting the hell out of there. A few days later, we got a fine of £10,000 in the post. So it turned out that fine was only addressed to one person, and that was the person who gave their name to the police when they asked about who lived there and everything. And I was like, you know what? We're all friends, so we're gonna split it, right? After that, I fell out with those people. So I was like, I'm not gonna pay this money, it's not my problem. The falling out part, right? That bit was actually down to COVID. After that encounter, I was very much like, okay, I need to take this seriously. People are actually dying. It's not a joke. We can't just be throwing parties and doing this and that. One of my biggest regrets.
It was Halloween, and I just went out with my friend, and then we go to Leicester Square, have KFC, go home. So I get off the bus, I'm chilling. I asked this guy, right, who's just has a bottle of alcohol. He's all dressed up. He looks like he's going to a party or something, some Halloween party, yeah. And I just asked him what's the bus time, yeah. And then from then on, we just start talking, and then I've never drank alcohol at that time. So then I ask him, how much alcohol do you have left in the bottle? And he's like, you want to try some? And yeah, that was my first sip of alcohol with a stranger at a bus stop.
Going out to do Paris Fashion Week when I'd been doing makeup for like a couple months, that was risky doing that because I was younger, naive, and I just thought, oh my God, let's take the opportunity and do it. Luckily, everything worked out fine. But God forbid, if I got asked to do something I couldn't do, that would have been a problem. But luckily, that wasn't the case, so it was fine. But that makes me sound so boring, crazy. Like, I have no I can't think of anything. I feel like this is one of those things I'm going to go home and be falling asleep and think, I should have said that.
Appearing live on the stage in Las Vegas. Got hauled out in front of all these people on stage. I was embarrassed. The spotlight came down on me and I thought, oh my God. The guy comes off the stage and he starts shaking my hand. He got back on stage and the guy next to me said, he's got your watch. He said, you're going to have to go up there and get your watch back. So I got on stage in front of all these people. They were roaring with laughter. I thought it was hideous. And he took the mickey out of me. Everyone thought it was hilarious, including my dad. He gave me my watch back, put it back on my wrist, shook my hand. I walked off. He called me back. He said, I've still got it.
The craziest thing that ever happened to me is I was in an explosion in Lebanon when I was living there. It was the August 4th explosion a few years ago. I remember like a loud bang and then all the lights turned off and I was in H&M trying to return a dress. And I kind of attribute the dress to saving my life because if I was home, I don't know if I would have been okay. All of the lights turned off and everyone was running. I initially thought it was an earthquake, so I went under a table, but I soon found out it was an explosion and there was smoke everywhere and a lot of injured people, and I was running in my little Birkenstocks down the street. I walked home and saw my apartment was completely destroyed with glass everywhere. Luckily, I had a flight that same day and my bags were already packed, so I just got my stuff and went to the airport afterwards. But it was really traumatic. A lot of people passed away and were injured, and it still has a lasting effect on the country. It was also during COVID, so things are especially unstable, and an economic crisis, and a lot of other elements that made living there quite tumultuous, but also it's a beautiful country with beautiful people and beautiful food, so I don't want to give anyone the wrong impression. But yeah.